lot of insane things have happened over the past 24 hours. Stocks are down pretty big, in case you guys haven't noticed. We're going to take a look at some of them, and it's not looking like great news out there. So let's start off taking a quick peek at the charts. And before we do, good morning, Acorn Sucks, Kitchener Leslie, Rocky Mountain Gobblers, Zach Taylor. We've got some crazy stuff today, and I'm sure you guys are already, kind of in the loop about it. But in case you haven't noticed, Facebook is down massively, down about 22%. Absolutely insane, bringing down the entire market. And it's not just Facebook that's falling because of this, right? It's the whole market, and especially these social media companies. Snapchat's falling in sympathy. Twitter's falling massively in sympathy. And people are really blaming Facebook. They're saying that it's leading these tech shares lower, and that definitely appears to be the case, right? Facebook had not a great earnings call. They projected very little growth for the future. I believe they projected 7% growth for 2022 when analysts were expecting them to have around 19%. So all in all, Facebook's getting decimated. It's not looking like a good situation for Facebook. Now, part of this is because they actually, I believe, lost some of their had lower users. I think their user growth slowed down to a halt. So less and less people are using Facebook. Now, this is not surprising. Facebook is a mature platform, right? A lot of people have already downloaded it, but it definitely does not seem like the way of the future, at least to me, right? I hardly ever use Facebook. I might use some companies that Facebook owns, like Instagram, but for Facebook itself, nobody that I know, at least in my generation, is really using Facebook, so not too many people are interested in it. And it makes a lot of sense that the platform itself is starting to slow down, which is definitely scaring a lot of investors because Facebook is known for its growth at all costs approach. So it's understandable that we're seeing a bit of a shift downwards. In addition to this, Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook have also been pivoting recently into Meta platforms, right? And eventually we'll get that ticker symbol change to go along with it. So it's understandable that their main business model, the Facebook social media platform, is kind of taking a bit of a hit because they're transitioning a little bit into a different type of business, which over the long term probably has some upside to it. But for now, Facebook is definitely down in the dumps as they're kind of transitioning away from this social media venture, and potentially making way for some other stocks that we all know and love. Maybe DWAC could be filling the gap, right? Maybe DWAC will come in and snag some of those old Facebook customers. It looks like DWAC ended up moving down on this news also, right? Because people aren't viewing this so much as an opportunity for other social media companies to come in and grab customers from Facebook. They're more so viewing this as a slowdown in social media use and growth. So all in all, the social media companies have been hurt pretty tremendously. I mean, DWAC will do some of the percentages. DWAC, once this news came out, it's down about 4.5% from where it was. Facebook, once again, I mean, Facebook got decimated. It's down when this news came out about, down about 23% from where it was. We can look at the S&P. We won't bother with that, actually. But Twitter's down too. It is down, almost 10%, 8.5% from where it was when this news came out. Crazy stuff. A lot of these stocks are getting hurt, and we'll pull up Snapchat as well and see how much that one got hurt by this sympathy dump from Facebook performing poorly. So down 17%, almost as much as Facebook was. And if I'm being honest, Snapchat seems like the least interesting stock of all the social media companies. I have a Snapchat, obviously I use it, but I just can't imagine how they're making any money off of that thing. I mean, maybe they get some money when people are looking at the Snapchat stories and they play some ads in there, but boy, oh boy, are there not many ads on Snapchat, and do I not use it that often? It really doesn't seem like a great stock, in my opinion. Now, it has had some upside over the past couple of years, obviously. I remember when it IPO'd, I was actually in high school at the time. I was sitting around the lunch table looking at the Snapchat IPO, and and I watched it sink for a couple of years, and it probably would have been a good buy at $4 because you could have 20 extra money when it was at its highs of 80. But I stayed away from Snapchat. So all in all, Snapchat's not my favorite. I am overall long term. If Facebook continues to pivot away from this social media stuff that they're up to and starts going more into the metaverse, right? If they really focus on the VR headsets, I think they could do well in the future. So potentially we'll look back at this as just a time when investors were not too enthused with how they were performing, but overall it might have been a good buy over the long term if they really pivot away from the social media stuff and more into the metaverse and this VR headset business, which could be as big as the iPhone. I mean, there could potentially be a time when everyone wants a VR headset and everyone has one, and it's one of the main ways that we interact with technology. It could be the case. And Facebook really takes the lead on that. If Meta Platforms really takes the lead on that, then that could be pretty darn profitable, kind of like what Apple did with the iPhone. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, all in all, I am actually very curious to see, I think about $200 billion was wiped off of Facebook's market cap. And I don't know if this number is updated yet. I think that once the market opens, it should update. But what'll be really crazy, and what may have already happened, is Mark Zuckerberg's net worth is going to take probably a massive hit, because who holds more Facebook stock than the founder himself, right? So Mark Zuckerberg is probably not too happy with this 22% drop in Facebook stock price. That's absolutely devastating for his net worth. No billionaire is going to like seeing billions of dollars evaporate in a matter of a couple of minutes. Really, really scary for them. So maybe Mark is going to hold strong and realize that once Facebook continues pivoting to Meta, then maybe they can start doing good. Maybe he can make some of that back. But as of right now, he is in the pit with Facebook stock, right? He has lost a ton overnight, and it's probably pissed him off just a little bit. So we'll see what Facebook can end up doing about that. But in the meantime, we'll pull up the SPY. It is certainly suffering. It looks like stocks have turned around due to this whole Facebook debacle, right? If you take a peek at the 30-day, we're starting to move down a little bit. Today could be a red day in the markets. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that, this was just a little fright to the markets, and as soon as they open and we get some big volume coming in, we'll start moving back up. That's the hope. It seems like a slim hope, though. This is pretty negative news. First it was PayPal, now it's Facebook. It's somewhat scary to see these mega cap stocks, these massive stocks with hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars worth of market cap, taking 20% drops overnight. It's a little scary to see that. The markets might be a little bit more fragile at this time than some people were initially thinking. Now, we still are not at the all-time lows of this market, right, from this most recent crash that we've been on. If you look over the past, pull up the 90-day chart, we've still got a ways to go down. We have to get down to about 420 on the SPY before we're starting to make new lows in this dip, and it's yet to be seen if we'll do that, right? We're a ways away. We'd have to fall about $30. So what that is in percentage points, let's see what we'd have to do to get to new lows for this crash. Down 6.5%. So definitely doable. Probably won't happen today or tomorrow, but over the next couple of days, if we continue this downtrend, it's a real possibility. I mean, people are selling heavy. Now, what are they selling into? They're selling into cash. And, if one thing doesn't make sense to hold, in my opinion, it's cash. And I'll show you why. And you guys have seen it before, too. You guys know what I'm going to pull up. It's cash, right? Cash does not make too much sense to hold. 80% of dollars were printed in the last 2 years. Who wants cash, right? If people are selling these stocks and moving them and moving their assets into something else, right? It, in my opinion, probably shouldn't be cash, right? Cash is garbage, right? The government just keeps, it just keeps getting printed. It seems to be like there's no end to the printing. And sure, the Fed is talking about tightening, but at the same time, they're talking about tightening after 80% of all dollars were printed in the past years. So we'll see what actually ends up happening with that whole thing. If Powell gets scared away from being a little bit hawkish, I have been looking at some stories this morning, and some of the Fed branches have been talking about being a little bit worried about the state of the market, right? They're a little worried that the markets are falling, especially after seeing this Facebook drop and the S&P follow in suit. They're a little worried, and they're definitely taking their time. They're gradually raising rates, right? They're not just cutting us off from that sweet, sweet stimulus instantly. They're definitely going to take their time and be gradual about it. At least that's what people at the Fed are saying. But, maybe they're lying to us. Maybe they're going to throw us for a surprise. We'll see what happens with it. Hopefully they don't. And Silver says, Powell won't raise rates unless Fed stays calm globally. Yeah, that's the hope. I mean, if we really start dumping, uh, that would not be a great time to raise rates. But maybe he's going to have to do it, right? If we start dumping, I mean, it's not just stocks. Look at the dollar. The dollar's on a tear to the downside. It's been moving down over the past hour or so, since the jobs report came out, actually, which we will take a peek at. So the jobs report just came out, and jobless claims total 238,000, which is actually fewer than expected. And that's kind of crazy to see. We'll pull up the chart right here, and you can see the U.S. initial jobless claims numbers. We were forecast to have 245,000. We actually got 238,000. So if you zoom in a little bit, you can see that over the past couple of months, we are on a decline with jobless claims. So all in all, good stuff, right? You can't complain when you beat the forecast, but it is strange to see that there are so few jobless claims when just yesterday we got the non-farm and private employment change, and it was actually 500,000 off to the downside, right? We were expecting to have 200,000 new jobs, and instead we lost 300,000. So it's kind of strange to see the following day that the jobless claims are down. I mean, maybe people just aren't claiming to be jobless. Who knows what's going on with that? But it does seem a little strange. And tomorrow, we've also got a pretty important economic event going on. So tomorrow we have the unemployment rate coming out. So we're going to see what that is. If there are fewer new jobless claims, then my guess is the unemployment rate would probably be lower as well. But we'll see what happens with it. I mean, we'll see what happens. That will be interesting to see. So let's see. Let me make sure that this stream is working all right. Okay, it looks to be pretty good, I think. Yeah, okay, we're working. All right, nice. So Buck Sutherland says European Central Bank leaves rate unchanged. We take our orders from them. Yeah, we have seen the ECB. That was a story I was reading today. Says they will be gradually raising rates, right? They don't want to spook the markets. So we'll hopefully see the markets recover. But boy, oh boy, does it not look like a great situation right now over the past 12 hours or so. We've been getting hit pretty hard. Pull up. How much are we down off the SPY from our highs of yesterday? We're only down 1.5%. So it's not like we're crashing, but it could be an inflection point, right? We could be moving down off of 458. We're potentially going to be using 450 as support. That is where we started moving up this pre-market, but we'll see what happens. It could be a rough ride today in the S&P, and especially for Facebook. I mean, there could be a ton of volatility with Facebook. A lot of people might be thinking this is a great buying opportunity for Facebook and PayPal, these companies that have just been decimated over the past 24 to 48 hours. These massive companies, by the way, right? And I think all eyes will be on Amazon, right? Amazon has their earnings call coming out later today. What is it, 4 or 5? We've got their earnings 4:30. So Amazon has their earnings call. We're going to see what happens with them. I mean, it looks like they started dipping over the past 2 days. Maybe people don't have the best expectations for Amazon's earning call, but we're going to see. We're going to see what Amazon can do. And this could make or break the markets, right? If Amazon's earning call is horrible, then people might say, all right, that's the last straw. We're selling a bunch of these stocks, and it's not looking good, right? Especially if they have a weak forecast for the future. This earnings call might not be as big of a deal as their forecast for the future, which is really what's spooking a lot of investors around Facebook stock, right? They don't like seeing that Facebook has a weak forecast for the future, right? 7% growth in 2022, considering the fact that it's supposedly a growth company. That doesn't bode well for Facebook. So Zach Taylor says European stocks extend declines. The stock 600 index falls 1%. Yeah. So look at that. Well, we'll see what happens with the European stocks. And in the meantime, there is actually an interesting negative development for Tesla. I don't know if anyone's interested in Tesla. I'm pretty sure that people are. Everybody loves Elon Musk. And Tesla is down a little bit, right? Tesla's down, and some of that might be due to the fact that they are recalling now over 800,000 vehicles for seatbelt chime problems. So kind of crazy stuff, right? We had the story yesterday about them recalling, I think it was, 50,000 vehicles for a problem not stopping at stop signs. So they were just doing rolling stops. Well, now they're recalling over 800,000 vehicles for a seatbelt chime problem. So the seatbelt reminder chimes may not sound when the vehicles are started and the driver hasn't buckled up. And that's a big problem. Now, all of this seems like the kind of stuff that they could fix through software patches to me. Obviously, I'm not an engineer. I don't know how Tesla's actually making this stuff. But it would make a lot of sense to me, at least, if they could put in a software patch and say, hey, when the car actually starts, how about you play the seatbelt chime? And, maybe that's not their plan. Maybe they're just going to recall them, and maybe it's a physical issue, right? Maybe the speakers are broken or disconnected or something. Who knows? But that's a problem that they've got to fix. And, it's never good to see all of these recalls, right? It does cost them money. They're not charging for the recalls, right? It's just money out of their pockets that they have to deal with, right? Paying the employees to fix this stuff, whatever materials they're going to need to fix it. It's just money out of Tesla's pocket. So all in all, not the best thing. But yeah, there might be some hardware issues, says AutoCodes. Yeah, it could be. Probably is if they're going to do a recall. So now we have a very interesting story, and the men are going to love this story, and dating coaches are going to hate me for sharing this, right? It's a crazy story. It's really crazy. I mean, it's what we've all been waiting for. It's something I think that we all knew deep down, but we just didn't want to admit to ourselves. And it's probably going to change our investing styles pretty dramatically once we really figure out what this is all about. So here it is for all the men out there. The women might not care about this. They probably already know this. But the men, the boys, they're getting some good info right now. So stay tuned, right? Look at this. Owning cryptocurrency may make you more desirable on the dating scene. Study finds. Crazy stuff. I mean, I think we all kind of knew it. Who doesn't want to be one of those crypto gurus, right? But with Valentine's Day approaching, single men and women are setting their sights on a partner who is not just financially stable, but savvy, especially when it comes to digital currencies. To that point, 33% of Americans said they would be more likely to go on a date with someone who mentioned crypto assets in their online dating profile. So 33% of Americans are more likely to go on a date if someone mentions crypto in their dating profile. So if you're on Tinder, all you need to do is type in Bitcoin. I mean, 33% more likely to get a date. How about that? And further, nearly 3 in 4 would be more interested in a second date with a person who paid the bill in Bitcoin. So how about that? That's all we had to do this whole time. We just had to mention Bitcoin and pay the bill in Bitcoin. It was so easy. We didn't even know. It was right around the corner, and we didn't even know it. We had it all in our Robinhoods and our Weebles and whatever. We had it in our Coinbase account, and all we had to do was pull it out and show them. So there you go. Now we know. Now, the funny part about this study, right, is that it is looking at men and women, right? So how many of the people in this study do you think are actually women who said they would be more interested, right? Do you think it's 33% of women who said they would be more interested? No, it says 33% of Americans. So potentially, it's all the guys who are interested in a girl who mentions crypto assets, right? That's a very real possibility. And maybe the guys want the girl to pay in Bitcoin. So that's just something I was thinking. But, this could have a real impact on the price of Bitcoin. I mean, this is groundbreaking stuff. So it doesn't appear to have helped Bitcoin out too much today, right? Bitcoin is down 4.82%. Ethereum's down 6%. All the cryptos are pretty darn red. Dogecoin's down 5%. That's surprising. So a lot of these cryptos aren't reacting too well to that study. You'd have thought they'd all be up, triple digits, right? You'd up 300% on that news, but they're not. So it's strange to see. I mean, it must just be a bubble waiting to happen, right? We must be just waiting for that thing to pop. But there is something else regarding crypto that is interesting, right? TurboTax will let users deposit tax refunds into crypto accounts. So if you want your tax refund in crypto, Coinbase is going to be by your side, helping you do that. So Coinbase and TurboTax are partnering up, and Coinbase is trying to establish themselves as a mainstream gateway to the world of cryptocurrency. And potentially, because of this new direct deposit program with TurboTax, you can get your your tax refund, right? Your federal tax refund going straight to your Coinbase account with the option to automatically convert dollars into crypto. So we'll see if people actually want to do that. I mean, it might be the case that a lot of people just say, "Give me my tax refund in crypto," and maybe they will. Maybe some new people will be introduced to the crypto space because of this. Maybe it could be good for Coinbase, even if people just see that there's the option, right? They might see, you have the option for your bank account, your debit card, your PayPal or whatever. And then what is this? Coinbase? They might look at that. And, everyone has to file taxes pretty much. So this is going to reach everybody. Anyone who hasn't heard of Coinbase is now going to at least see them on TurboTax if they're using TurboTax. So all in all, this seems like a beneficial partnership for everybody. Whatever TurboTax is getting out of this, it seems good for them. And Coinbase, there's certainly an upside there, right? There's an upside for cryptos. If more people are just going to decide to take their tax refund in the form of cryptocurrencies, then all the better for the prices of these cryptos. And boy, do they need it. Look at this. I mean, they're all red today. Bitcoin, we'll take a peek at it. Looks like it hasn't been too strong as of late, right? It started rallying a little bit ago, halfway through the month, off its lows of around 30,000, or 33,000. But still, kind of scary to see how much it's fallen off the highs. It's getting close to being 50% down off the highs at these prices, right? If we fall just, just 3,000 more, then we're 50% off the highs. Or maybe it's just 2,000 more. Yeah, just 2,000 more, and we're 50% off the highs on Bitcoin. So, cryptos have not had an easy time as of late. They've definitely seen a lot of pain, and will they continue to see pain? Probably not after this dating scene news, right? Now that people know that crypto makes you more desirable on these dating apps, my guess is everybody's going to be buying up crypto. But joking aside, crypto might have a little bit further to fall. If you look at the past crashes, we will pull up the past crashes that Bitcoin has been through. Pull up the all-time chart. It's tended to be pretty significant, right? The past time in 2017, we went from 19,000 to lows of 3,000, and it took quite a while. It took about 2 years to get there. So it could be that there is more pain for crypto on the way, right? So we could be falling pretty significantly. We could be falling down, maybe down to around the $20,000 level. And, that wouldn't surprise me. I'm still holding some Bitcoin. I'll still hold some Ethereum just in case. I'll still hold whatever Doge I've got left and the Shiba Inu that I've got. Very little Shiba Inu at this point. But, I'll still hold those, of course. I'll hold the Safe Moon. That one I'm just happy to keep holding and keep accruing new Safe Moon every time people transact with it. So I'm not complaining about these crypto dips. If they do go down really significantly, maybe I'll buy a little bit more. We'll see. And Tim Boone says, does anyone in chat hold Bitcoin? My guess is a lot of people probably hold Bitcoin to some extent. It's a pretty popular one out there. Diamond Hands holds some Bitcoin, but sacrificed most of it and got the Pulse chain instead. Wow, bold move. So pull up some of the regulars while we're waiting for the market to open. We'll pull up Sundial, see if we got any crazy moves in the making. Hopefully to the upside, right? We could really use it with Sundial. And we'll pull up AMC down here. So hopefully AMC is going to start performing a little bit better. I mean, look at this. It's just been decimated. And, all things considered, could have been worse. It's not like we're making yearly lows. We're still, if you bought AMC a year ago, you're still in the green. So, I know it wasn't the case, though, that most people were not buying AMC a year ago. Most people were buying AMC around here, right, when it was pretty darn expensive. So that's not the best. That's a little unfortunate, but there's always the chance that we could come back. And Jeff asks, was the new Elon Musk coin real or just fake? The new Elon Musk coin. Can't say I've heard of the new Elon. I mean, there have been a million coins based around Elon Musk, but let me see. Let me see if I can find something on that. New Elon Musk crypto. The only thing that comes up, the top story that comes up for that is Tesla starts accepting the once joke cryptocurrency Dogecoin. So we've covered that before. And Tim Boone says, Rob, did you see my comment about signing up for unemployment? I did not see that. Tim Boone says, the one that did get signed up can only draw 186, so it's not worth it. Oh. The system's changed and it's difficult to sign up. I see. That might, maybe that's why we have fewer jobless claims. So, yeah, the unemployment rate that we've got coming out tomorrow, I mean, potentially there are a lot more people who are jobless and just aren't able to claim unemployment. So that could be the case. That certainly could be the case. Would not surprise me. Now, it looks like the markets are about to open, but we do have to cover one last thing regarding the U.S.-Russia situation. The U.S. is to deploy troops to Eastern Europe as tensions continue between Russia and the Ukraine. So the Pentagon press secretary John Kirby confirmed on Wednesday that the U.S. will soon move approximately 2,000 troops from Fort Bragg in North Carolina to Poland and Germany this week. Roughly 1,000 German-based soldiers will also head to Romania. So this comes a day after diplomatic efforts between Ukraine, Russia, and international leaders took place, and following Russian President Vladimir Putin saying on Tuesday that the U.S. and its allies are using Ukraine as a tool to contain Russia. So Russia does not want to be contained. They want to be able to expand, and how rude of us for containing them, right? They want to go to Poland, they want France, they want Germany. They'll make Berlin their new capital, and then they'll ally up with France and with Italy and Japan. So let them do it, right? Let it go, let it happen. How rude of us for containing them. That's Putin's stance, at least. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully nothing too crazy. I mean, boy, oh boy, if there ever were a worry about world-ending stuff, it's a nuclear war, right? A nuclear war would be horrible, and it's really concerning whenever they keep bringing up these issues. I mean, boy, what is Russia thinking? What is Putin thinking? Just every now and then, starting up this little conflict, poking the bear for no real reason. I mean, Putin, he's living in a mansion. What does he need? What does he need Ukraine for? Why is he doing it? It seems a little ridiculous to risk everything for the entire world just because he wants a little bit more land, under his control. He's got plenty of land in Russia. So, I don't know. I think it's a little bit ridiculous, a little annoying that he keeps, threatening the end of the world with like nuclear war and that kind of stuff by doing these military exercises. It's a little annoying, but, that's how Putin rolls. So, hopefully he will come to his senses at some point, and we won't see much more of this. But who knows? Tim Boone says he doesn't need it, but he doesn't like being told what to do. Yeah, he doesn't need it. But guys, before the market opens, it looks like the market actually just opened. We've got about 70 viewers in the stream, about 30 likes. It means only half of you are doing your jobs, are helping out, hitting that like button. I can do it too. I can actually go in to the stream myself if I need to. I can hit the like button too. So take a peek at this. Look at this. I can do it. There we go. We're up to 30. Now we actually have half. So thank you guys, anyone who's about to help out. And the S&P, it looks like our fears are coming true. They're turning a little red. Sundial's down 5%. DWAC down 5%. AMC down 1.5%. The S&P maybe turning a little green. We'll see what we can get. Hopefully we're going to see some green in this market. But I wouldn't count on it, right? After this Facebook news, all eyes are on Amazon, and Amazon has been falling lately. So it's not looking like a good situation for the markets. Yeah, and you know what? This is not surprising, what I'm seeing on StockTwits. Look at this. Facebook, the number one top trender, down 24.75, almost 25%. Also the number one most active. So everybody has Facebook on their minds. It's probably going to dominate the narrative today. I mean, everybody's thinking about Facebook. Look at this. The S&P is down 1.3%. But the QQQ, more tech-heavy stocks, down 2.68%. So Facebook really messed up the markets. Look at this big gap down. That's not looking good. That's definitely not what we want to see. So yeah, Zach Taylor says, what would you do if the U.S. was trying to put nukes on your border by making the most corrupt country in the world, Ukraine, a NATO partner? Yeah, I don't know, man. If I was Putin, I wouldn't even be, honestly, if I was any world leader, I would not be too interested in leading the country, right? I guess I might do it if the alternative was handing it over to somebody not too good, but boy, oh boy, is it tough making these kinds of decisions. I don't want to be the one responsible. I'd like to think that everybody could just be reasonable and avoid war and just be pretty peaceful, have good trading relations and whatnot. But it really seems like the case that a lot of these world leaders just like to fight each other. They're just power hungry. It's not just Putin, it's everybody. Everybody's power hungry for whatever reason. China, the United States too. Everybody's doing it, but it's an unfortunate situation. Nobody in power really seems to be too reasonable or too focused on the overall well-being of the world. So it's a little scary to see. Maybe we can do something about that, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, and QQQ is maybe turning around. Maybe we're going to get some green on the day. Sundial, it's looking a little choppy. We're still moving up. Now, let's see what we got on FinViz if we're going to get... All right, so look at this, guys. On FinViz, we don't have the market map yet, but 60% of people think that in the next 5 minutes, the S&P is going to be bullish versus 40% who think it's going to be a little bearish. Now, it's looking like the S&P is the S&P actually is not doing as good as the QQQ, is not as green as some of these other stocks, but let's pull up that. Where did that go? Here it is. So we're gonna click this. We're gonna click. Which do you guys think, bullish or bearish? Somebody say in the chat. I'll put your vote in for you. If anyone thinks we're going bullish or bearish today, next person who says so, I'll pull this right back up and place your vote for you. Hopefully bullish, right? But from the look at this red bar, it is not looking too good. We're looking to be a little bit choppy, a little bit volatile, a little bit down. I mean, look at the VIX. Ever since this whole Facebook thing, the VIX has been moving straight up. Bullish. People are saying bullish. All right, we'll see. We'll put in bullish, and look at that. So 62% of people now think it's going bullish. We'll see. That could mean the exact opposite, right? I've played around with that, and oftentimes, unfortunately, it seems to be the opposite of where this indicator is pointing. So, I haven't done a study on it or anything, but it seems to be more often than not that it's a little wrong. And we'll see what happens at the 450 for the SPY. Hopefully we can take a turn to the upside, but you never know. DJ Alex Production says bearish. Bearish. We got 3 bullishes, 2 bearishes. And I hope bearish, says Rocky Mountain Gobblers. So maybe no, we've got 3 bearishes and 3 bullishes. It's 50-50. It's 50-50 in chat. And you know what? I'll put a poll in the chat. And I think we did the same poll yesterday. Will we make new lows? And I think we did the same poll yesterday, but I did forget to actually look at the results of it. So we'll just put that in there real quick, and we'll see what people are thinking. So, boy, oh boy, the markets are really good at flipping today. Look at this. You think you see a big bar, and then you see another one of the opposite color taking us in the exact opposite direction. Sundial starting to inch up, right? We started the day down 4.5%, and now we're down 1.7. So it's looking like we might actually be seeing a recovery in a lot of these stocks, right? Maybe the exact opposite of what we were expecting. Now, what I really like is that the S&P is down 1.3. The QQQ is down 2.3. and the Russell's is down 0.9. So the Russell's is actually performing better than a lot of these other indexes, which is actually a good thing in my opinion, right? I would not mind at all seeing, and I'll pull up the market map for this, even though it has not updated yet. I would not mind at all to see when this opens up, some of the larger market cap stocks are a little bit red, and some of the smaller market caps are green, right? That would not be a bad thing in my opinion at all. In fact, I would really like to see a little bit of a rotation out of these large, massive stocks because they have been dominating the investing world for a long time. The past couple of months, it seems like all anyone's wanted to do is buy up these big market cap stocks and just forget about the small market cap stocks. And they've gotten a little bit out of alignment, I think. So let me pull this up. So look at this. I mean, some of these companies have gotten, pretty massive, and for good reason, right? We're using a lot of these companies, but Apple, Microsoft, Saudi Aramco, that's not here, but that's in Saudi Arabia. Google, Amazon, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, they're all massive. Look at this though. Facebook down at a $600 billion market cap, down from the $800 billion that it was at. Now let's take a peek at the real-time billionaires list and see if it's updated for Mark Zuckerberg, if we've gotten him updated. So no, it still has not quite updated, I don't think. It's still showing him at spot number 8. This might fall dramatically, right? He might fall down quite a bit. He might not even be in the top 10 when this is all said and done after Facebook fell 20%, but we'll see. But it certainly took a hit on the world's most valuable assets list. It used to be above Berkshire Hathaway and above Bitcoin. Now Facebook is less valuable than Bitcoin, so crazy to see. But that's just the way it goes. So look at that. After that, the S&P is down there at number 21, right under Palladium. I typically don't look this far down at the list, but look at that. Crazy stuff. Cisco is the 50th most valuable asset in the world. A lot of these are just American companies, and not even American companies that you would think. I mean, who would have thought that NVIDIA was the 13th most valuable asset in the world? I mean, I guess they're doing quite a bit for us, right? They're allowing this to happen by making their graphics cards and whatnot. So, thank you, NVIDIA, but does it really justify them being the 13th most valuable asset in the world? Tim Boone says, House vote on MJ. Really? Okay. Look at that. So let's see what this says. We'll pull this up. And I don't know if that's the vote you're talking about. So this is the Senate, but Schumer gives update on federal marijuana legalization and banking in meeting with equity advocates. So Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer held a meeting with a variety of cannabis reform and other advocacy groups last week to discuss social equity issues as he prepares to introduce a much-anticipated cannabis legalization bill this year. While activists involved in the Tuesday meeting told Marijuana Moment that Schumer again gave vague details about the timeline for filing the Cannabis Administration and Opportunity Act, saying it will be done soon. He did say that he also expects committee hearings to follow after its introduction. So let's see, what is this House vote going on? So let's see if we can pull that up. It looks like the Russells is starting to move up pretty significantly, so I am happy to see it. Look at that, a very sharp recovery in some of these smaller market cap stocks. Now, we haven't turned green, but we are getting close. And it looks like the VIX is probably falling. Yeah, look at that, the VIX is down. Good to see. I'm happy to see the VIX moving down. Volatility, while it can be good, while you can make some money off of volatility, I'd much rather a steady market, slowly inching higher and higher up. That's just much more preferable. So let me pull this up. Let me try and pull this story up at least. Okay, wow. Look at this. So, House approves marijuana banking on voice vote without debate, but roll call for final approval expected Thursday. U.S. House of Representatives on Wednesday preliminarily approved an amendment that would protect banks that work with state legal marijuana businesses, but while the measure was procedurally adopted in a voice vote without debate as part of an en bloc package with other amendments, a roll call vote was requested for formal passage, which is expected on Thursday, so today. And look at that, really good stuff. So it sounds like it's banking only. So that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, safe banking, and that would definitely be helpful. What I would love to see is a little bit more in way of legalization. So look at this. If anyone wants to vote in the poll, make sure to vote in the poll because I'm ending it in probably a minute. And it's looking like very interesting results, right? It really could teeter in either direction depending on what the next couple of votes in this poll come out as. So we'll see. We'll see if anyone else wants to vote. But it's looking like a pretty interesting result. So if anyone wants to check it out, we've got really anyone. If anyone votes either way, we could make the move in that direction. So good news though for cannabis. That's certainly good, right? I'm loving that. And Silver says, anybody notice cannabis stock buying in charts lately? Small enough by Democrats. When they push for legalization, usually they bought in weeks before. They dumped in December for tax harvesting reasons. Wouldn't be surprised if they bought back in. Could be. Tim Boone says Nancy wouldn't do that, Silver. Yeah. If there's anyone I don't trust, it's Nancy Pelosi. I don't like Nancy Pelosi too much. We've seen... I decided not to cover it too much, but she's definitely been... a busybody when it comes to the stock market. She likes to trade, so I'm not the biggest fan of that, right? I don't think the politicians should really be doing too much on that front, on the investing for themselves front. And look at that, AMC just turned green for the day. Let's see if we can get that in the rest of the stocks. It's looking like a pretty mixed bag, all things considered. And Smile Direct Club turning a little green today. Look at that, shooting up off of the 250. We're at 271 now. Good to see. Oh, and Tim Boone was joking. Yeah. Yeah, I think, if she sees a money opportunity, but you never know. I mean, I know that the pharmaceutical companies do not like medical cannabis too much, right? They don't really want... an all-natural alternative to whatever they're providing. And it seems like that might be the biggest roadblock that we've got at the moment to, these cannabis reform bills getting passed. Otherwise, it seems like, the polls have shown people on both sides really want this stuff passed. They really want legalization. And if that was the case and there was no one holding it back, I mean, why hasn't it passed yet? So, maybe some of the politicians, although they might preach wanting cannabis reform and cannabis legalization, maybe they're talking to some other people, and those people might not want it too much. So who knows? Who knows if that's really the case? It's just a potential situation that we're dealing with, and hopefully not. But it's very possible. It's quite possible. So I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with these bills, right? I think that we are getting to a tipping point, though, where a lot of the country wants cannabis legalization. In fact, let's pull up a poll. So, yeah, this came out. Yeah. So, here we go. Americans overwhelmingly say cannabis should be legal for recreational or medical use. And we'll look at this chart. I wonder if we can pull this up. Fewer than 10% of U.S. adults say cannabis should not be legal at all. So for the federal government to come in and say it's, Schedule 1? Schedule 1 drug? Kind of crazy, right? When only, 8% of people say it should not be legal at all, 1% don't want to answer, 31% say it should be for medical use only, and 60% say for medical and recreational use. So we see where the tides are turning. And, if the politicians really want to follow suit, then we should be seeing this pass pretty soon, right? I mean, it should have happened quite a while ago, because this has been in the making. This didn't just happen, right? This was April of 2021 that this study came out, and this has been the case for longer than you would think, right? These polls have been coming out for quite a while. A lot of people have been on the side of legalization. It's really been destigmatized quite a bit, thanks to certain pop culture figures, and just an overall acceptance. A lot of television shows and movies include it now, and the more you see it, the less stigmatizing it is. So here we go. We're going to end this poll. Here we go. Let's see what this poll that we have in the chat says, in the YouTube chat. We've got, will we make new lows in the market was the question. 52% of people said yes. 47% said no. So it is yet to be seen if we'll make new lows in the market. It looks like the S&P is bouncing back and forth. It can't decide, right? It's basically like the poll. It's basically 50-50. There's a slight tug in either direction. We're red on the day, right? Of course we're red on the day. We moved down massively off of the Facebook debacle. And boy, oh boy, Facebook has seen quite a bit of pain, down 25% on the day. It's not looking good for Facebook. Let's pull up. Let's just get a couple of these smaller market, or not smaller market cap, but a lot of these social media companies up here. Let me just pull these up. Let's see. Okay, so Facebook down 25%, Twitter down 6%, Snapchat down 19%, DWAC only down 2%, but it's not necessarily a social media company yet, right? We've yet to see the release of Truth Social. So, people are still expecting probably really big growth in this because it hasn't even launched yet. So we'll see. I mean, DWAC probably isn't going to trade as negatively as Facebook because, to be fair, a lot of people might be glad to see that Facebook isn't performing well, since it looks like DWAC will be competing with them. They'll be competing with Twitter. Snapchat, not as much, right? Snapchat's more so like a texting platform for the most part. They have their stories and whatnot, but boy, oh boy, I don't know about Snapchat. I really do not like the Snapchat business. I use it. I have it downloaded, and if their business is all about, getting my data on their servers and selling my data, then yeah, maybe they can make some money with it. But it really doesn't seem like the kind of thing that's too great of an idea. I mean, let me look into this. How does Snapchat even make money? Is it seriously just ad revenue? Let me look at this. So the majority of Snap Inc.'s income comes from online advertising on Snapchat, with 1% coming from the sale of Snap Spectacles. And for those of you, I'm going to pull this up. For those of you who don't know what Snap Spectacles are, look at that. This is weird. I've seen these, I've used these, I've not bought them, but it's interesting at the very least. You guys will be, if you haven't heard of these or seen these, you're going to be a little confused by them. So we'll try to zoom in on these. But these are Snap Spectacles. And sorry, the picture's a little bit low res. But basically, they're little Snapchat glasses that you can put on. They're Snapchat brand. They might come in this little yellow Snapchat box. And they have these cameras. And I used them a couple of years ago, so I don't know what they can do now. But you can use them. You can link them to your Snapchat or whatever. And you can use them to record video and take pictures. Instead of, holding your phone up and clicking the take a picture button or take a video, you look at the stuff with your camera and you can take the video that way too. It seems kind of ridiculous. I see why less than, why 1% of their revenue or profit comes from that, because it does not seem like a great idea. Maybe it's building into something else. Maybe they're going to implement a virtual reality layover on it, but I don't know. From what I've seen thus far, they're normal glasses. They don't change what you see, and they just take video that you put on your phone. So it doesn't seem that great to me, and they don't look amazing, in my opinion at least. So I don't know what Snapchat's up to, but it seems like most of their revenue comes from advertising. And, quite frankly, I just don't see that many ads on Snapchat, right? I send snaps to my friends every now and then. I open them, but I'm not using Snapchat as some social media platform where I'm looking at their stories and viewing ads. Every now and then I'll click on the stories and I will see some ads, but pretty much everyone is doing that now, right? There are Facebook stories, there are Instagram stories. Snapchat isn't doing anything too unique. So all in all, it doesn't seem like the best business to be in, and that's become apparent in the stock price as well. It's fallen quite a bit. What is it? Down 68%. Granted, the lot is down quite a bit. So, you can't just say, oh, Snapchat's down, they're trash, right? Maybe I'm overlooking something. Maybe they have some master plan that's going to really launch them into the next level and take them to the moon. They certainly did good over the past, the year prior, right? During the course of 2020 to midway through 2021, they soared. They 10x'd from their lows to their highs. So maybe they've got something going for them that I'm just not aware of. But from what I've seen, it's just not the kind of thing that I see sticking around. It seems a little bit like a fad. I think that people are going to get over the whole Snapchat being able to take a picture and just send it to someone. Another company is probably going to come in and maybe they'll get bought out by Facebook and just integrate it into Instagram or just stay on their own. But it doesn't seem like a craziest idea. It doesn't seem too innovative or anything like that. So we'll see what happens. Good morning, Maria. Welcome. So there's some stuff we can't read in chat coming off of Kitchener Leslie. Well, yeah, we can't read it. We can't read it. But for those of you who were curious, we'll pull up Sundial. We're still not moving up. You would expect, I guess, maybe this is one of the times when people aren't buying the rumor. We are in a tough market right now. But you would think with all of this good news regarding potential legalization, and it seems like we're really moving in that direction, these stocks really seem like sleeping giants, right? We're getting House approves cannabis banking on voice vote. Schumer gives update on when he's going to put his bill in the Senate forward. It seems like really good stuff for these cannabis stocks. Now, as of yet, they have not moved up massively yet. In fact, they're down on the day, as pretty much everything is. I mean, the markets are down fairly dramatically. Looks like Facebook's recovering a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, when that stuff really actually comes to fruition, when we really see safe banking passed, and when we really see Schumer's bill coming through and potentially having a lot of support, that will be a telling time to see what's going to really go on with these cannabis stocks. Are they going to pump up massively? Are they going to not go up? It's a possibility. I think that, pretty much every other time that we've had really great legalization news, we've seen good stuff with these stocks. So we'll see what happens with them, I'm not opposed to the idea that we could get back up close to the highs or higher on actual confirmation of some kind of legalization. And James Wood says MJNA is zip code changer. Zip code changer. Well, Zach says, don't worry, Kitchener, just stay strong. The ladies will show up soon. I mean, all you have to do if you want the ladies to start showing up is own cryptocurrency. It makes you more desirable on the dating scene, a study has found, or may make you more desirable on the dating scene, a study has found. For those of you who are just joining in, it's crazy stuff we've got right here. With Valentine's Day approaching, it's less than 2 weeks away. Single men and women might want to know about this, right? They might want to know that owning crypto may make you more desirable on these dating apps. You might consider putting something in about Bitcoin Investor or Crypto Guru. So, 33% of Americans said they would be more likely to go on a date with someone who mentioned crypto assets in their dating profile. And 3 in 4 would be more interested in a second date with a person who paid the bill in Bitcoin. Doesn't mean they'll go. It means they'll be more interested. So, they really didn't dive too deep into... they did not dive too deep into how many men versus how many women were saying that they'd be more interested in these things. Unfortunately, I couldn't really find anything on that. But My guess is, men might be a little bit more interested in women using crypto. But I'm sure the girls have heard about crypto too, so they might like it also. And they probably do. It's probably mostly going to be, if we look at the analytics for this kind of stuff, let's see if we can find out. Let's see if we can find out. I'm curious about this. So, yeah. So look at this. Men and women who own a cryptocurrency in the United States. This is 2019. I want more recent data. Because 2019, here we go. Here we go. So, twice as many men as women invest in cryptocurrency according to CNBC and Acorns Invest. So, the crypto gender gap exceeds the existing gap with traditional investments, including stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, and real estate. Yeah, look at that. So, let's see. Twice as many men as women invest in cryptocurrency. 16% of men versus 7% of women, according to CNBC. So, in fact, the gender disparity in crypto matches or exceeds the gender gap in ownership of exchange-traded funds, which has 14% of men owning them versus 7% of women. Individual stocks, 40% men, 24% women. Mutual funds, 30% men, 20% women. Real estate, 36% men, 30% women. And bonds, 14% men and 11% women. So, all right. All right. It looks like crypto has a pretty big gap, and maybe that's why women are more interested in dating guys who have crypto. They get some exposure to it if they marry them. So maybe that's it. You never know. But there's a little tip for anyone who is curious right before Valentine's Day. All you got to do is mention Bitcoin. And auto codes, does stock attract also or only crypto? I think if you have a nice car, that could be good. And owning stock could help you get there. But, this study only mentions crypto. So, maybe not stock. I don't know. Any studies? Let me look into it. What kind of ads am I going to get on Google after looking at this? So I'm probably going to get a whole bunch of Tinder and Bumble ads. So, I'm not seeing anything. The top study is actually the crypto one when I search for that. So, who knows? My guess would be stocks. let me tell you what I think about that. Crypto seems like the new thing. It's hip, it's cool, it's sexy. But stocks, although they're definitely over the long term really good investments, when girls think of stocks, they're probably thinking of this guy. They're thinking of old Warren. They're thinking of the old guys who have been investing for 50 years. They're not thinking of the young crypto gurus. They're not thinking of Elon Musk, who's the Dogecoin aficionado. They're thinking of Warren. So, stock might not help as much. You might need to talk about cryptos, unfortunately. Yeah, look at that. Bunch of crypto coin diggers. Yeah, says Zach. Well, granted, I will say that this study did not differentiate, right? It could be a bunch of guys are crypto coin diggers too, because it didn't say it's 33% of women. It said 33% of Americans. So it could be a bunch of the guys are crypto diggers, right? They might know, they might think, I bought Bitcoin at the top. I'm down 50%. I need to meet someone who bought it when it was at 15K. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows what the guys are interested in? At the moment, though, it looks like the S&P is dipping just a little bit, and Sundial's following suit. AMC's moving down. DWAC actually seen a little bit of green today. We're starting to move up. We're not completely green on the day yet, but we are inching ever closer to that $80 resistance. So hopefully we will get up there. Tim Boone says, if you hold crypto, Biden wants a date with you. And Silver says, well, I don't know if we'll say it. We won't say it on the stream. But you can read Silver's comment if you want, guys. Feel free. But there you go. So now we know. And it's looking like it is 10 o'clock. It is 10. And just to give a quick recap on what we've got going on tomorrow, stuff to stay tuned for. If you are interested in the stock market, we have the unemployment rate coming out at 8:30. So make sure at 9 tomorrow, we'll be talking about this. We've yet to see what it is, but it could be relatively negative. So let's hope not. But let's see what goes on tomorrow at 9. Make sure to join us then, guys. Other than that, it was great. We learned a lot of cool stuff, especially about crypto and dating. So that was relatively important. I think, especially right before Valentine's Day. We've only got 2 weeks left. So if you haven't mentioned crypto in your dating profile, you may want to consider it. That's not financial or dating advice. That's just my opinion. So other than that, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Hopefully these markets will turn around today. Hopefully they're not too red. I know Zach doesn't think that'll be the case, but hopefully we see some green. So guys, see you in the next one, and have a good day.